Okay, guys, let me make a start. So let me start with my introduction. So my name is Mitesh. I work for an edtech startup, Coding Nest. So today's topic for this meetup session is for cricket loving friends. So here we will be analyzing that IPL players and as well as a team analysis. Plus, to make it like a predictive modeling project. So here, basically, here we have a few fields like winner prediction. We can do it. So here for prediction we'll be working for that winner part of it. Again, since here winner is basically like either a team will going to win or lose, win or lose. So basically it's basically a problem of a classification problem, as we have seen yesterday. So that's the problem of regression, but this is the problem of a classification problem. So this project is basically is a part of a data visualization project which we are currently doing in that ML course. But we thought that I think it's with like interest. I think we have put this on Meetup like a session. But yeah, so here the different stages which we'll be covering. Basically, the first stage is basically how to read the data. Again, we'll be using that PyData ecostat. So basically here we'll be using that pandas in order to read the data. Next part is basically cleaning the data. So it's like good practice always, if some values are missing, then let's try to fill it out using that imputation technique. Third, basically it's your exploratory data analysis. Basically there we use a data analysis and data visualization technique in order to visualize that the data. Then after that we start that basically modeling part. Again, in modeling part we do that feature engineering part, and then feature selection part. So feature selection basically it helps us to select a subset of features out of that this. So it depends on how much features are available. So like in yesterday we have like 49 features towards the end, and then we do that some feature selection in order to extract some features, and then we have done modeling part of it. In the same way, at the end last we will do that modeling like a step. So this is the complete basically goal for this project. Again, important is basically like similar to like dream11.com, they work on like fantasy like a league. So how they have created this. So basically yeah, the main goal for this learning over here is how to create a fantasy like a league. Again, I know few of the startups, they are working on the same kind of a project, same. And second, this modeling part of it. Again, let's see what is that data visualization task we want to achieve. But let's get this with the project. Okay, so this is the project basically from kaggle.com. Again, similarly there are multiple projects available. So this is the project where we have a data set available from 2008, from the year of the start of this IPL till 2019, which is the latest one available. So here the size of the data is 18 MB. It consists of like two CSV file. One is a matches.csv file, and another is a deliveries.csv file. So each and every match has a detail available on this deliveries.csv file. So let's try to explore this data set. Okay, first let's see this matches.csv. So that's the best practice. Being as a data scientist, you have to have to have a better understanding of a data. Let's do this first before starting this project. So ID again. So here we have an ID is a unique a value available. ID is the unique value available. We have a season. So they have given the season in that random order. But when we apply a filter, let's try this. So we have a data available from 2008. We have a data available from basically from 2008 till 2019. So it's a complete data set available. Then again we have a city available. So this is a city of the matches where that match will be is has hosted already. So this is the date. Basically if you need all the information, basically if you type basically the name of the team and with the date, you will going to get all the stats. The same stat is available in this basically two excels. So we have a team 1, team 2, basically team 1 and team 2. Team 2 toss winner, basically. So team 1 is basically associated with this city. So this is the host city. This is the host city. Team 2. Toss winner, basically toss winner, who is going to win over here. Toss decision, basically those who have the win, they can make a decide whether they wanted to bat or they wanted to make a field. Then we have a result. So this is the result is a normal or basically a tie or a no result. So no result, maybe like all the matches got washed out. So there is like a no result, no result, or some like condition like where we have to apply a Duckworth-Lewis rule, or so and so forth. So DL applied, basically for normal matches you won't see zero, but one maybe the cases available. Basically the team has won on the basis of the Duckworth-Lewis rule. Basically Duckworth-Lewis rule, basically on the basis of maybe this some rain happen or some delay happen. So that's what is basically Duckworth-Lewis rule. I think all might have understanding of this. But yeah, winner for the match. Say for an example, match is in between SRH and RCB. So the winner is SRH. Win by run. So win by run. Win by wicket. So it depends on whether who is playing first. Who is playing first. So he is playing first. Player of the match. Basically, it's a player of the match. Venue. Basically, it's been happen. Basically on this particular stadium in Hyderabad city. Umpire 1, umpire 2, and this is the third umpire. So these are the features available from this matches.csv. So let's see this deliveries.csv. Now this data is a bit big data, but let's see this part. Now this is has a relationship. Here the field is basically ID, and here the field is basically it's a match ID. So here is the mapping is between ID and match ID field. Match ID field. Now this is a detailed report available. So for the first match between like RCB and SRH, RCB won the toss, so they are fielding like a first, and SRH is making a bet. SRH is making a bet. So the betting team. So here we have a two innings available. First is for SRH. Second inning is for basically for RCB. Batting team, bowling team. First over, first ball. So we have like a six or seven, depending on if there is an extra ball over there. Who is the batsman? Basically strike batsman. Who is the non-strike batsman? And the bowler who has bowled those deliveries. Then basically super over, basically it's the condition whenever that match has been tied, then like a super over happens. uh, Wide runs, by runs, leg by runs, no ball runs. So these are all constitutes your basically your extra runs given by the bowler. Batsman run. So batsman run. So basically it's an individual run scored by individual run scored by this basically the each and batsman. So here has been counted for a batsman, which is like David Warner. Now extra runs again, extra runs basically here it's a cumulative of basically here it is a cumulative of this all these runs is like total. Okay, so basically extra runs. So it's a cumulative runs this. Along with this, there is a one more field called total deka runs. So batsman runs plus extra runs comes out to be total deka runs, so and so forth. So there might be a situation. There might be a situation where the batsman runs is also there, plus there would be a no ball. So there will get a like summation of both as a total runs scored in that particular deka ball. Now this is interesting. Basically we have a few missing fields available. So this is the stats available for basically for the fielders. We have a player dismissed. Basically David Warner got dismissed. Who has dismissed basically Mandeep Singh is the fielder, basically has done the caught. The bowler is done by bowler is basically A Chaudhary. So that's what the basically your deliveries.csv file. Now here we can do a lot of data visualization aspect of this. Majorly, normally companies normally make a dream team or make a kind of a predictive analysis. Let's try that same, but let's see what was that data visualization. So these are the basically data visualization. So we thought of come up with this, but I haven't tried completely. But let's go one by one. So total number of wins by each team. So total number of wins by each team. This is per season. We can easily find it out. top 20 players with the most man of the match awards. I think this we can easily they can found out by grouping this man of the match and finding that count of this. Which city has hosted most number of matches? Number of matches hosted at each like a stadium, just to get an idea of that city and like a stadium. This then this is basically it's like a clash of a titans, like previously when like we have like Pune team is available, then it's like always like it's like a Maharashtra derby. So basically the term is basically Maharashtra derby, where super giants Pune, like Pune super giants, rising Pune super giants and Mumbai Indians. Or now for rest of the seasons, I think it's always it's rest of the seasons it's always like a Mumbai versus CSK. So to get all the stats related to the MI versus CSK. Now this is interesting. Basically, this we normally find it out for each of the stadiums available. So what will be the result of the probability after winning the toss? So after winning the toss, basically after winning the toss, what is that probability? Again, this is if we do that predictive analysis, basically winning the toss. Basically, toss is one of the feature available. So through that, we can easily able to find what is it coefficient associated with it. Season wise performance of each team, so which we can easily find. Biggest win by runs each season, played versus win by each team participated. So that's important. I think the number of matches played versus number of wins, so this will going to tell about that consistency of that particular team. Which empire has participated in the max number of matches, so which we can easily find out. There are three features available: umpire 1, umpire 2, umpire 3. Average and the total runs per the season, basically total runs for all the teams per season. Run distribution per over. So run distribution, say for an example here, it could be that in number of boundaries, say for an example 4 6 in per over. Number of times, like target of 200 and plus scored by each team, and target of 200 run plus run scores, but how many teams is able to chase this, just to get a small stat around around this. Average run scored per over by each team, so this will give you the analysis. Now this is very interesting, power play analysis. Basically here we can do that power play analysis. Anyone knows uh, how many overs are there in power play?
Six.
Yeah, so the first 6 overs has been considered for this power play analysis. Next is basically highest average in the strike rate for both batsmen and the bowlers. Here we have to make a condition, basically at least 30 matches played. Then we have a top 20 the batsmen, top 20 the bowlers, which we can easily found. So which we will see that. Then we have an orange and purple cap per season analysis. So orange cap is basically for that person who has got, I think, the maximum run, and the purple cap is basically for the person who has scored, who has got lot many wickets. Now important is this century, 50s and 30s run score. Basically here you can do easily that fantasy league. Say for an example, this is how they normally do it. Like for each like batsman scored a century, you can allocate a certain points like 8. For 50, like let's suppose 5. For 30s, let's suppose 2. Or say for an example, the number of boundaries, let's suppose 6 fours, and all those things you can give a bit basically a point. Similarly, for strike rate of the bowler, we can easily find out. So means what is the strike rate of the bowler? Means the number of balls he bowled and the number of wickets he got. So this is how he will able to get a strike rate. Highest number of runs scored as a percentage of boundaries, I think, which we can see. Basically, we can get an interesting stat of a Chris Gale or Virat Kohli, those who play from RCB. Extra runs given by each team analysis. So this is the one feature available: extra runs from the deliveries.csv file. Most catches by any fielder. Again, that's a stat available under that deliveries.csv. Comparison between any particular batsman. Say for an example, previous season one, it's like Sachin versus Shane Warne. Now, say for an example, Malinga, who plays from that MI against, let's suppose Virat Kohli, who plays from RCB. So fielder analysis we can do fielder analysis we can do. Similarly, we can do that bowler analysis. Basically, all this we are planning to do it for that fantasy league, which is like a Dream 11. Again, so there is an algo which fantasy leagues use basically in order to create a in order to give that points to this. Again, that's fantasy league is run by that IPL as well. IPL fan base fantasy league. So that's the main goal for this. And the last we will try for that basically predictive analysis, the team who will going to win. So let's try this. I think we won't be doing all the exact data visualization tasks, but majorly we'll be focusing on fantasy league and data prediction as like a part of it. Okay, I think let's see this data. Okay. Okay. I think let's get started. Let's get started. So first step is basically we're going to read the data. So here, since we are using a PyData ecosystem, so best way to read data CSV file is basically reading from that pandas. Pandas. Let's try this part. So import numpy as np, import pandas as pd. For basically for data visualization, so we'll be using both all three, basically matplotlib, pyplot, as well as cbon. Basically this is similar to like matlab library, and this provides like a wrapper on top of this matplotlib. This is basically for scientific libraries. Import plotly.graph objects as go. Plotly.express, basically it's will going to create a interactive graph. So sometimes we require this. Okay. Percentage matplotlib inline, so we want the graphs to be plotted inline to this notebook, inline to this notebook. Okay. So import warnings just to remove that warnings coming from that pandas. Pd.set option. So there is no constraint on that maximum columns. Basically, there are less features over here. Here we are reading both matches.csv file and deliveries.csv file. So basically, we are reading as a data frame, and matches is the variable which will refer to this data frame, and deliveries is the variable to refer to this data frame. Matches.shape and deliveries dot like a shape shape. So in matches.csv file, basically, so total number of matches means the total number of observations are available is 756. The number of features available in matches.csv file is 18. For deliveries.shape, so the number of if you see, so it consists of lot many details available. So if you notice, it's 1,79,078 observations are available, and we have like a 21 basically 21 like features available. So that's the basically about your data analysis part. Next part, let's see how we are able to this. So dot head basically give you a first five observation. So matches dot head. So we are able to read this. If you notice, there are few empty values are available like umpire one, umpire two, and this. So again, whenever you are seeing, basically it's a best practice to do the data cleaning. Basically, it will avoid unnecessary discrepancies for your data visualization part. And again, your machine learning models don't work for those empty observations in your features. Let's try for the deliveries dot head. Deliveries dot head file again. So it's a lot more, but player dismissed, kind, and fielder, I think that's acceptable. Basically, you cannot have like stats, because every time every ball the player won't get dismissed, and every time that fielder is not there. So I think that's an acceptable feature. So we do not need to do any kind of an imputation. Just when we are working on machine learning like a model, so we can ignore these features altogether. Okay, so let's see this matches.info part. As now we'll start with data cleaning part, but let's see what all features are empty. So for ID, so we have 758, 756 not null values. For season, for city, so looks like there are some cities which are missing. So we have to basically impute this data. Similarly, if you notice, basically winner and player of the match again looks like a four features are missing. Umpire one and umpire two looks like two observations are missing, and umpire three, so umpire 3119, so they looks like there are a lot many observations are missing for this umpire three. So which could be like a third umpire. So maybe I think that's the feature which we can basically drop off from this. Let's see this deliveries.csv file, deliveries.csv file. So here looks like every data is available, and this is acceptable. Basically this is acceptable. Basically there are a lot many entries are missing for player dismiss, dismissal kind, and fielder. So this is how we have done. Now let's move to the data cleaning activity. So data cleaning activity is very important because both in that visualization perspective as well as that of your modeling part of it. So let's try this part. So we are trying out for first for city column if any fields are missing. So let's try this. Matches matches city. So we are looking for is null values. So if you notice, if you notice, basically for that city column, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are seven features are missing. But when you just scroll there, so like venue, venue. So all these are basically related to Dubai. All these are like Dubai International Stadium, Cricket Stadium, Dubai International Cricket. So this looks like basically either we can like substitute venue equals to city equals to this, or we can just replace it with basically with Dubai. So this pretty straightforward. So here we have done .loc method. So we are looking for those basically. So .loc method will going to find those indexes, and we are replacing it with Dubai. We are replacing it with Dubai. Now next part is basically is your winner column. So winner column. So let's try this winner column. So if you notice for winner column and for player of the match. So here we have a result, no result. Since there is no result, again, that's I think it's pretty logical. I think there is no winner player of the match. Again, that's the pretty logical, no player of the match. So let's try to fill out these other values. Let's try out fill out these values. So how we have done? So here we have selected that a particular. Here we have selected that particular feature for is NA. Wherever it's true, for that particular column winner, we are filling out with no winner. Similarly for this player of the match, for those none values, we are filling out with no player of the match, no player of the match. Now let's focus on this other two, umpire one and umpire two. Okay, umpire one and dot is NA. So basically, if you notice, umpire one and umpire two, basically these are the details are these details are missing. Even umpire three is missing. So basically, umpire three we can easily drop off. But how to get these details, umpire one and umpire two? Basically, this is the match happen between your RCB versus DD on this particular date. So let's try this part. DD versus RCB. So DD versus RCB on so basically on 8th April 20 so 08/04/2017. Sorry. Okay, so here we got the details. I think just if you look for this, basically it's available in many places. Then basically you can fill out the details for your umpire who has hosted that particular Adhika match. So that's how we have extracted this. Otherwise, if umpires is not a constraint, basically we can fill it out details. Again, same way we have done it for that next one. Basically, it's like SRH versus Delhi Capitals. Again, that's an again important interesting point over here is previously the name is Delhi DD basically till 2018. In 2019 they have renamed themselves to the Delhi Capitals. So basically we have to take this into consideration. We have to take into consideration again for SRH versus DC for this particular day, 8th May 2019, we can easily able to get those umpire details. So that's how we have got the details over there, and we have filled out the details. For umpire 3, basically umpire thing, since there are a lot many values are empty, so it's not like we have to fill it out for each and every feature. So let's remove this particular altogether feature. So let's see again. Now let's see what is that info of this matches. So matches.info. So looks like everything is in sync. Everything is in sync. Okay. Now we have already discussed about the deliveries.adeka CSV. Every detail is there, leaving these data, I think, which is bit logical. So which we can basically ignore for now. Okay. Now, coming to the next the part, I think this which I have noticed it lately, basically sometimes basically like 2 seasons. I think they have there. Sometimes they have mentioned the name as a rising Pune Supergiant, and sometimes they have mentioned this as a Giants S. So basically, just to make everything in sync, so basically we have replaced everywhere where we got this rising Pune Supergiant, and we are replacing it with Super Giants. Similarly, for like 2019 like a season, only like one season only Delhi Capitals, but every time it plays with like a DD with the name, so we are replacing with Delhi Capitals just with a DD, so that everything is in sync. Now we have like a comprehensive data available. Now we have a comprehensive data available. Okay. Now, so far we have able to read the data. We are able to clean the data. Next activity is an EDA. So exploratory data analysis. So till this like a part, I think 31. So these are like 31 basically which we discuss. Basically, we can go for all in these exploratory data analysis, but we have selected a few. Basically, more focus on that. More focus on that. How to create a fantasy league. Okay. So total number of matches in every season. Basically, here we can easily create it using Plotly, or we can create it using that Cmon library. But let's try this part. So matches per season dot value counts. So basically, here the result we will going to get a season and its count. Reset index. Basically, it will going to create a basically index, again a column. We are renaming it basically. Let's see this data how it looks like. Again, yeah. Okay, actually I have executed this, but let me do it. Okay, I think let's see this other part. Let's see this part. So matches season dot value counts. So value counts, the data is basically, it will give you a series. So we are interested in both the data, basically the index as well as like a value part of it. So that's why we use this reset underscore index. So basically now this becomes a column. Now this becomes as a column. So we're going to rename this basically as a season, and this we will going to rename this as a matches. So this is the common activity you will normally do it basically for each and every task, I think. Yeah. So this is the same activity we have done. And now we are plotting a bar plot. On the x-axis we want basically on the x-axis we want basically your season. On the y-axis you want the total number of matches. Total number of matches. Let's try to plot this. So if you notice 2008, so the total number of matches somewhere around like 58, 59, 2009, somewhere around 58, 59. Looks like in 11, 12 and 13, 11, 12 and 13, there are a lot many matches as compared to other. Looks like the number of teams, I think this is the time where Kerala, Tuskers and that Super Giants has been introduced. I think that's why we will see that spike over there in 2011, 12 and 13. 12, 11 as compared to the rest of the season where we normally have those eight other teams available. In 2020 at 2010 again we'll see a spike basically like a one or two there maybe like extra matches or a super over or the matches like tie matches happen, so that's why it's there. Rest all pretty stable. I think that this is the year where this is the year basically where that new teams are got introduced.
Nitish, what we
Okay.
did in step 50, the step of, yeah.
Yeah, so basically here I'm trying to explain basically so what we have done, match seasons. So here we have selected the season dot value counts. So basically the seasons, so in matches, since we will have that season multiple like a time, like the number of matches field, so value count basically do that cumulative count of it. So in 2013 cumulative count is 76, 76. So here basic the result of value count is basically it's a series. So we want it basically to be as a basically we want it to be in the format of a data frame. So what we have done, reset underscore index. So reset underscore index basically here by default it will become 0, and here that particular index has jumped as a column over there. Now let's rename this part. So let's rename index basically to a season and rename the season to basically as a matches. So here we have a small data frame available. Considering this on the x-axis, this on the y-axis, we can easily plot a bar plot. So let's
Okay,
see
all
this
right.
part. On the x-axis, we have a season. On the y-axis, we have the matches. On the title, total number of matches is in each season. So this we are easily able to create a bar plot. Again, we can easily, so that's the area of the choice. We can easily create a line plot and we can use other Deca plotting as well. Okay, so matches played versus win by each the team. So that's important. Basically, so the total number of matches is played by each team. So versus how many like the matches they have won, and what is it winning percentage. So basically, it will decide basically the consistency of each and every team across the seasons, across the season. So how we have done it, so pd.concat again, you can basically see this later words again, so the logic will vary. So basically team 1 and team 2, basically important is the stat is basically sometimes dd would be over in team 1, sometimes dd would come over here, dd come over here. uh, so that's the thing. I think if you notice over here, team 1 is rcb, team 2 is rcb. So what we are basically, we are doing basically a kind of a union operation. So here we normally call as a concat operation row wise. So it's basically it's like a union operation. So team 1, and then at the down we are making as a team 2, team 2. So basically we'll get a team 1 and team 2 in a union operation. So this is how we are basically doing it. Pd.concat, pd.concat access is equals to 0. Basically this is how we are focusing more on that union operation, and the data will be concatenate vertically. So it's like a union operation in your sql. So here we have team 1 and the team 2. So these are the total matches is played. Again, we'll do that value counts. Basically, it will going to give you a series dot reset index. Basically, it will help you to get a data that index as a data frame. Again, we are renaming this columns. So basically we are renaming this as a team, and we are getting as a total matches played. So this is how we got the data. Across the season, Mumbai Indians plays 187 matches, as RCB plays 180 matches. But what is the count of the winner? So how to find this count of the winner? Again, uh, there is a again feature available, matches winner dot value count dot recent index. Again, here you are only looking for one particular feature, which is winner. You are not looking for team because it's already there. So here we have added a one more feature called winner. We are added a one more feature this. Now what is that percentage? Basically it's like winner divided by total matches played. So here winner divided by total matches played. So basically it is giving you a winning like a percentage. Here probably you can multiply by 100 as such. So that's an interesting fact. Basically, for Mumbai Indians, they played 187. The winner is 109 across the season. So their winning percentage is 58.28 percentage. For RCB, so which we thought it's been highest, but it's like 55.55 percentage. KKR basically it comes down to 51.6 percentage. I think these are all excellent steps, stats. Again, DD, which normally during the previous seasons, I think they normally come towards the end of it, but shortly, I think towards the lately they recovered. So you can see that the winning percentage is like improved 47.44. Last one is basically Kochi Tuskers, Rising Pune Super Giants, Gujarat Lions. Again, one season I think they performed a lot. I think Pune Warriors, again, yeah, that's the mistake, I think. Pune Warriors and Rising Pune Supergiant. Pune Warriors. Okay, I think I will check with this data. I think Pune Warriors and Rising Pune Supergiants. I think we need to mix this data. Then we have a Deccan Chargers. Then we have a Sunrisers Hyderabad. I think again we have to merge this data. Yeah.
These
I-
two teams are same.
Yeah, these two teams are same. I think yeah, that's the change which we have to make. Sunrisers Hyderabad and Deccan Chargers. I think lately they changed. RR remains the same. CSK, CSK. Even I think that's an interesting RCB. The winning percentage is 55, even though they stand, I think, almost towards the bottom every time. But that's an interesting stat. Again, CSK, we thought it's more consistent. Again, they have a winning percentage less. Kings 11 Punjab again, DD again, so and so forth. Again, so I think this Pune Warriors and Rising Pune Super Giant is the same team, and this Sunrisers Hyderabad and Decca Chargers. So we have to just replace the data so that we can get a cumulative count of it. Okay, I think that's a nice. Okay, okay. Now let's try to plot this like a part of it. So here for plotting this part, basically you can plot all three graphs together, or you can use a subplot as well. So here we are using matplotlib subplot, number of rows, number of columns 3. So one row, 3 columns, fixed size 25 by 6. That's again starts coming from this basically from matplotlib. On axis 0. On axis 0, what you wanted to plot basically team and total matches played. So on the axis 0, team versus total matches played. On axis 1, team versus the winner. On the another axis, basically you are plotting team versus winning percentage. So you are able to plot all three in a one figure. So by using one row, 3 columns. Or if you wanted to create a stacked part of it, stacked, you can easily able to create it. Okay, so this is the stat data analysis, matches played versus win by each the team. So which city has hosted maximum number of number of matches? I think that's the pretty simple. I think we have to just play with the city and the number of matches. So this is similar to like your first task. So matches city dot value count dot reset index sort values by city ascending equals to false. So basically here we are able to get the number of matches like the values on the basis of city ascending equals to false depending on that number of matches hosted by the city. So we're going to get in that in basically in descending order. Columns, we are renaming it to city and the number of matches, and let's try to plot this. So interesting factors, basically the Mumbai has hosted the maximum number of matches. Then we have like Eden Gardens, Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad. If you notice towards the end of it, basically we have a, a Bloom 14, either it's in South Africa or it's in South Africa, East London, Kimberley, Nagpur, Kanpur, Kochi, Raipur, so and so forth. So basically even this, majorly the matches are hosted in this particular Mumbai. If you have to see what all particular stadiums, what all particular stadiums, again, instead of a city, only changes basically is a venue. So that's the easiest part, I think. So the maximum matches hosted per per stadium. So basically, the Eden Gardens has hosted over this because Mumbai. I think there are two stadiums available. One is a Wankhede Stadium. Another, anyone remembers? I think this is DY Patil Sports Academy. So this is one stadium, DY Patil. Another is basically it's a Wankhede Deka Stadium, and I think there is a one more stadium available. So basically, this is how that number of stadiums have hosted the maximum number of matches. Okay, I think that's second last which we are planning to do. Total and average runs deka per deka season. I think that's the interesting. So basically, depending on which seasons, basically run batsmen like majorly dominated, which seasons basically the bowlers dominated. So basically, let's try this part. So it all depends on total. Basically, won't give you a much, but average will give you a much better like a figure for consistency. Total maybe like in some season, as we discussed, like in 2013, 2015, the number of matches are more, so total won't be the good figure. I think average would be the figure. So here basically important is so far we haven't taken into account the deliveries, but how to make a join the operation in SQL. In pandas we normally call it as a merge operation. So matches dot merge, we are merging it with deliveries. Basically here we are to making a join, but the difference basically in on that left table we have a column is id, on the right table we have a column basically on your match id. This is how we are doing that on condition. Basically we are doing that left join because we are more focusing on that matches.id, matches.id. Now once that is available, so across the season, because the runs are available, total runs are available in deliveries. So basically total runs scored, so basically group by operation on season. On total runs we are finding that sum operation on that the sum operation. Reset index. Next part is basically the total number of matches is which we are finding out. So once we got total runs scored, matches underscore per season, so we able to get that average runs per match. That's what we are looking for. So we are actually we will be dividing this total runs by the matches, runs by the number of the matches. So that's the interesting fact. I think 2008, the number of runs scored is 309. Average run scored is 309 per match. So per match means 2 innings. Again, if we segregated in by a season, by a inning wise, I think it would give a much better stat. But 2009, the number of runs are less. But if you notice lately, I think it's a game of the runs. Basically, here you will see that lot many rise of that average number of runs is happening in that lately, the 2018 and 19. That's how the craze and all about the numbers. Okay. Now last part, basically, yeah, let's try to plot this part. So this is the total runs per season, and this is that average runs of the per season. Here, instead of this basically plotting this bar plot, we can even select that line plot as well. Line plot as well. Okay. Now this is the last ED activity which we are planning to do before we jumping to that dream 11. I think that kind of a logic. I think, yeah. Number of runs scored as a percentage of boundaries. This is very interesting. Basically, this will be working for that batsman analysis. Basically, the number of runs they have scored, but what is the contribution of either a four or either the six, either a four or either a six. So deliveries boundaries, basically we started with a particular feature, otherwise it will give you an exception. So basically here we have done a calculation basically for 4 greater than equals to 4, but it should not be equal to the 6. So this is how we are finding those particular indexes, basically 4 less than 6. Now important is basically why not equals to 4. Maybe maybe like one is basically he scored one, and like bowler has thrown means fielder has thrown out of it, basically 1 plus 4 it comes like 5 runs. So that's why it's greater than equals to 4. Either way you can do it equals to 4 as well, exactly for boundary, but it should be not equals to 6, but it should not be not equals to 6 or basically less than 6 or not equals to 6. Boundaries, we are making it we are basically filling this boundaries new feature with 4, and we are filling this boundaries with greater than equals to 6 with basically 6. So we are creating a new feature basically for 0 4 and 6, 0 4 and 6. Now basically we wanted to find a run percentage. We are wanted to find a run percentage. So basically again we are creating a basically a new uh, data frame altogether. First data frame, batsman as one of the feature, boundary batsman underscore runs another feature. Next one is basically batsman. Basically this is how we'll make a basically a merge operation on the batsman part of it. And this boundaries is the another feature available. Boundaries is the another feature available. So basically this will help us to get a percentage run boundaries where we will get a batsman runs the runs and the number of that third feature, which is boundaries. Here we are doing that join operation on outer. Now how to calculate it run percentage? That's pretty simple. Since we know that boundaries, since we know that batsman runs, so we got that percentage available, and we are rounding off till two decimal places. Now we are basically displaying the result, sort values by run percentage. So it will going to give you which batsman has scored the maximum runs on that run percentage. I think let's best visualize it to get a better feel of it. So Virat Kohli is that who has scored at maximum runs. As per that legends, so if you notice, more than 50% of the runs scored by Virat Kohli is as a percentage of boundaries. Second is SK Raina. But if you notice Chris Gayle, even though he has scored that less number of runs, but the percentage of boundaries as compared to total runs is the maximum. So this is what we have listed down. Basically, this is how we have listed down. I think top 15 and top 20 like a batsman as for that number of runs. Okay. I think this is what I wanted to cover for that EDA part. I think rest all we can explore. But let's talk about this fantasy league. Now, fantasy league, you have to come up with an algorithm, basically for either for a batsman, either for a fielder, either for a bowler. So the same logic won't work. So you have to create such a kind of a data frame where you will going to get a stats related to a batsman, stats related to a bowler, stats related to basically a fielder. So let's try to come up with a logic this. But before to start with, I think you have to basically come up with a data frame which contains that kind of a stats. But currently the data is all available, but it's not in that format which you are looking for. So let's try with this Deka part. So we have written a small Deka basically a logic basically to build up that Deka stat. Again, let's see how what stat we are looking for. So we want to look for batsman. We want to look for number of balls, strike rate, the batsman the runs. So batsman runs, average the score. So this is the stat you normally see it basically whenever that person starts coming over there. Match count, total number of matches, number of six, number of fours, number of hundreds, number of fifties, number of thirties. Again, that's an additional stat which we normally see during that 2020 matches, 2020 matches. So let's try to create this kind of a data frame. Then we have to come up with basically a logic. Say for an example, hundreds. If that batsman has scored 100, let's allocate let's suppose the number of data points is 100 for 8. Similarly, for 50s, let's allocate a point. Let's suppose as 4. For 30s, let's allocate some point like let's suppose 2. A number of sixes, let's allocate a point as 1. Let's allocate a point 0.5. Match at let batsman runs, total runs, let's allocate a point 0.5, so and so forth. So this way we will going to create a one more feature. Basically we're going to create a points like a feature, so that on the basis of the stats we able to create this. So let's see one by one how we have done it. Again, this you can explore it laterwards. So deliveries, so we'll only work on basically from that deliveries .csv file. Group by basically for that particular batsman. Match id, basically for match id. So here we are doing that group by on that batsman and match id. Since match id would be a lot many, what we are doing, we are aggregating what on batsman runs, on what operation we are working on, some operation. So what we have done, centuries. We are trying to find those numbers where that person has basically scored greater than equals to 100. So this is basically is your century. Then what we are trying to do it, we are doing that aggregate operation. We are doing that aggregate operation. So what we are basically, for each and every batsman, we are doing aggregate count of it, aggregate count of it. So aggregate count of it, so batsman and a count of it. So century dot sort values by count descending is equals to fall reset index. So basically what we are able to get, uh, so we are able to get batsman, and we are able to get that batsman runs. So batsman runs. So this what we are able to get it out. Okay, batsman runs. Now what we are looking for, hundreds. So what is hundreds? So basically this is the count we have done it for hundreds. This is the number of centuries as we have put that condition for greater than equals to 100. Now we have to find for stat for half century. So here we have done it the logic same way as the earlier. Only difference is greater than equals to 50, less than 100. So basically here we are aggregating for each and every batsman the count, the number of times it has scored at 50s. It has scored at 50s. So basically what we have batsmen and we have got 50s. Now we are looking for 30s. Same way we will going to extract for 30s. So again the same kind of a logic we have extracted for 30s. 30s. So greater than equals to 30 and less than adhika adhika 50. So and we have basically merged all of these adhika adhika together. Now same way we have calculated for strike rate, runs per match, total runs, the number of sixes, number of fours, and we have merged all of these together with rename one of the features over there. Strike rate we have given multiply by 100, and we have merged all the stats together in order to get this a new data frame. So this is the stats which we normally see it for the batsman. Now you have to come up with an algorithm to create a total points additional column, total points additional column. So that's not a hard and fast, but if you notice, I think Dream 11 have given this particular stat, or say for an example, IPL Fantasy League that's given they have stat. So if that batsman score 100, so they allocate like 8 points. If it scores 50, it allocates 4 point. If it 30, like 2 points. If he hits per 6, 1 point, 4.5 total per batsman runs. So it's like a pointer, deka 25, 0.25. So basically, so what we got, so we have added a one more feature. So we have added a one more feature called total points. This is very interesting. Basically, this is how you will get a best batsman. So for best batsman, let's suppose I'm extracting a batsman and a total points. So we have created a one more column, one more data frame, extracting only batsman and total points, because that's only the stat we require for that fantasy league. Now coming to that interesting part for that fielder, like statistics. Okay. For fielding statistics, so for fielders, this again we will going to get for deliveries. We are finding that condition wherever that fielder has caught, run out, stump. Again there is a one more caught and bowled. So that's very interesting, whether we have to give this to a fielder or we have to give it to a particular bowler. So I think this is a part of a bowler, might be like caught and bowled, so this should be given to a bowler. So here we have just taken for for that fielder statistics, we have given that caught and run out and step. Same way, we have created a small statistics, basically for a fielder like Dinesh Karthik, the number of catches, the number of run out, that stump. Now you have to come up a logic. Again, I have just seen that IPL logic which they have used it. Basically for catch they have given 3 points, for run out they have given 2 points, and for fielding for stumps they have given 1 point. So that's how we are able to add a basically a one more feature total the points. Now extract out basically what we required. So we require basically a fielder name and a total points, fielder name and total points. Now now we have to come out basically for bowling statistics. Now again that's the only thing. Basically we are looking, since we have eliminated all these condition. So bowling statistics, like basically that's very interesting, like a part of it. So basically we have to find a dismissal kind, but that should not be like excluding this, because we have already taken these numbers over there. Leaving this, all will be taken for that bowlers, but here we are merging for caught bold as well, so which we have analyzed it earlier. Caught bold over there, caught bold, caught and bold. So we have given the stat to basically for that bowler. So here we have merged the data. Now bowlers. So there is no much thing available for bowler, but what all things we can basically do basically basically so the number of overs bowled by that particular bowler, number of wickets dismissible number of wickets dismissed by that particular bowler. Since it is like a discrete value, we can create a like a bin kind of a thing. And basically the number of wickets, say for an example, we call it as a 3 wicket haul. We call it as a 5 wicket haul. Let's suppose like 5 wicket is like very difficult to get, so we can create a that kind of a bin. Now we can also create a bin of like economy, like that bowler has given like maiden over, like less than 4 runs, 4 to 6 runs, 6 to 8 runs, greater than 11. That kind of a bin structure which we can able to create it. So same way we have tried this way. So the data which we have, basically 3 wicket haul, 5 wicket haul, basically that's the stat like similar to like 50s, hundreds and 30s for that batsman. Total number of wickets, maiden overs, I think that's what. And again, rest all these basically it's a bucket which we have created. The number of times that bowler has given runs below 4. So which is again a very interesting. So as per that fantasy league, they have given the numbers on this part and remaining this part. So let's try to create this one more feature. So on 5, 8, on hall 3, 4, number of wickets, let's 2, maiden overs, let's give again 2, economy overs, I think let's give 1. So we are able to create a total points of feature. Again, let's extract this. Now, important part is we have a best bowler, we have a best fielder, we have a best batsman available. So basically here the difference is basically every time we are taking one feature bowler, but one we have a common is a total points. But basically this is a player and we want to create a complete fantasy league player. So it is irrespective of whether it's a batsman, a fielder or bowler. So what we have done, we have renamed the columns to everything to a player, 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 player. So what it has done, so basically now we have a player total points for each and every one. Now we can easily able to merge this. So what we have done, we have merged this data. So for player Suresh Raina, this is from batting skills, this is from bowling skills, this is from that fielding skills, the total accumulated points, total accumulated point. This is for Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Mohit, MS Dhoni, David Warner, AB de Villiers, this. So let's try to plot this. So here we are trying to use that plotly graph. Okay, so that's the interesting. If you see this part, the best batsman or a best all-rounder which has been there, basically best all-rounder, like it's given to like a Suresh Raina. Even next one is a Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma has some stats for that, some points for its bowling skills as well. uh, then Shane Watson. So if you see, that's an interesting set. There is no bowler which has dominated in that points alone. From this important, this is a stat across the seasons. This is not a stat basically for one particular season. Otherwise, if it is a stat for a particular, basically for that a particular bowling, maybe a season, maybe a bowler has dominated, but majorly like batsman oriented, they can game as such. Okay, so far we are able to do that EDA part of it. Then we have done that Dream 11 Fantasy League. Last part is basically as your modeling part of it. Again, in modeling part, as we have done feature engineering, then we know feature selection part of it, and then we know basically feature selection. Then we have to create a modeling part of it. Okay, I think let's analyze this data set. So here we have created a new, basically, just we have created a new copy of it. Just we have created a new copy of it. So we have an ID. Now we have to come up basically, since it is not a like a predictive analysis project, but we have to come up basically with we have to find a feature what could be we are analyzing it. So id cannot be in it, season cannot be it. So basically what we are basically winner. So winner is basically can be considered as a target, or basically it can be considered as a label which we are looking for it. Again, Sunrisers Hyderabad, like a rising Pune Super Giants, KKR, Kings 11 Punjab, RCB. Basically, these are the, if we're going to convert it into basically on the numbers, so basically it will be like discrete values. uh, what others would be, it would be features what we are basically predicting as a winner. Since winner is a discrete value, so definitely we have to apply so is this a problem of regression or it's a problem of a classification? Anyone?
It's a classification, I guess, right?
Yes, it's a classification problem. Important, interesting trend is since the winners are many, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think depending on the total number of teams. So here it's like a it's a classification problem. Basically having a multiple discrete values. Now let's see how to create a input features and how to create a target, which is your label, but important is let's start with the feature engineering part of it. In feature engineering we have to think, can we add a one particular feature altogether? Can we add a one feature? What all analysis we can do it? Basically if you notice, one, we have a date available. So can we create a so date is basically used for like time series analysis. So currently we, that's all part of your EDA part of it. So basically you can create a like weekday. So maybe like some teams on the pressure they performs very well on the weekends, or during that weekdays maybe they don't perform better. So what we can do, basically we can create a weekday a new feature of there. So that's what we have done. We have converted that feature to a date time, and we have extracted a weekday feature over there. So for each and every date, like considering Sunday 0, Monday 1, so and so forth, basically we are able to get a weekdays out of it. Now if you notice, id cannot help us to predict a winner, so we exclude this part. Season, I don't know, Caesar will going to impact on that winner part, we can exclude that part. City, that's an important, we have to take city in account, but difference is basically here these are all categorical columns. So here in machine learning model doesn't work on the categorical column, so somehow we have to convert it into a basically a numerical values. Again, team one, team two, toss winners, toss decisions, result, all these are categorical columns in which do take into account basically for like a winner. So basically winner. So we have to convert this, basically we have to convert this into basically into a numerical columns by using some label encoders. Duckworth Lewis applied, basically that's the constant, we have to live with it. So we will be using only for 0, we won't be using that 1, basically otherwise 1, then that it will be depending on that whatever that logic is. So we'll be predicting for the Duckworth Lewis whenever that it's a like normal without like Duckworth Lewis applied. Now wins by run, wins by wicket, again it will help us. Player of the match, I don't know, it will going to impact for that winner, so we're going to exclude this particular column. Venue, yes, it can have, again important part is we could have multiple venues, it will add a high cardinality part of it. So basically using a label encoders, we're going to convert into numbers. Umpire 1 and umpire 2, I think that won't be any impact considering it the umpires are not biased. But yes, so let's exclude this and let's live with it, that remaining features there. I think how to do this a label encoder part. From sklearn.preprocessing import label encoders. So what are label encoders? As we have tried using the dictionary, that's another way using that label encoders. So label encoders, it will going to basically convert all the categorical values and assign a basically numbers. So we want to convert for all these. First, there are two things. First, we do it. Uh, Encoder dot fit, basically we extract a one feature. First we will going to get a city, then we will going to use a dot transform method. So dot transform method will going to convert, first dot fit will going to find that particular factor. Dot transform will going to convert each and every feature into a numerical, and we are reassigning into the same, feature name. So that's what we call as a label encoding. So let's try this part. With this into effect, if you notice, cities are easily able to convert into numbers. Team one, team two, they got toss winners, each and everything we are able to convert into numbers. Now, what all features we have to extract? Let's do that in that modeling part. Again, the one constant which we have to live with it. So we are using only whenever a Duckworth Lewis applied is equals to 0. So we are excluding that equals to 1 part. Okay, so we have removed only few observations. Okay, so currently these are the features available. So we discuss, we won't be taking ID into account. Season, if it makes, I think if it doesn't make, we can also exclude this part. City, definitely. Date, I think we have easily converted to weekday. We can exclude this. Team one, team two, toss winner, toss decision, result. This result, basically toss decision. Result is your target, winner is your target variable. Yes, result you have to make it as a feature. You can exclude Duckworth Lewis applied rule. Win by runs, win by wickets, player of the match. So win by wicket, you can take this part. Player of the match, you can exclude. Venue, you can take. Umpire one and umpire two, which we discussed, we can exclude. And weekday. So this is how we are able to create capital X and Y. Capital X and Y. Now important is one activity which we haven't done. Basically the data is in the format of like season, like 2017 season, 2018 season. So it's good in machine learning to shuffle the data. So basically if you shuffle the data, you will get a more accuracy part of it. Shuffle the data, more accuracy part of it. Now the winners data, basically winners data, it would be, let's see how the winners data looks like. So winner data, basically it's like 1 2 till 13. Basically it's your discrete value, so we have to basically apply a classification algorithm. Capital X is your matrix, Y is your a vector. Y is your, basically it's a vector. So basically we're easily able to convert into capital X and the Y part of it. Okay. Now, first thing, activity which we normally do it, since we do not have any extra data for that testing out or for validation purpose. So we normally use a train test split in order to split the data. From sklearn.model selection import train test split. Then we are splitting the data X and Y. Test size 20%, 20% of this, and then remaining for the training part. Random set is 42. That's a good practice basically to get the same accuracy as your production, or as your development, same as that to your production environment, same as that to your production environment. So you are easily able to split the data. Now, next part is basically here we can take a number of algorithms. Basically, we can take a logistic regression, support vector machine. We use a SGB classifier, ADA boost. But we have tried a simple way as such, the motivation just to complete this project. But yeah, so here we're not basically comparing different models altogether. Basically, here we are just finding out the way to work on this project. So here we have taken that random forest classifier, basically from that ensemble. Here the metrics we are taking like accuracy score and confusion matrix, which we will discuss laterwards. So random forest classifier, basically here we are instantiating the number of estimators. That's a hyperparameter. We have taken it as a 500. We are trying to fit on X train, Y train. This is how that model will going to learn on from the training data. Two times we will do that prediction, one it on the train data, another it on the test data. So we have done that prediction on the train this data. We already know what is Y train. We got that prediction from that Y train predict. Let's find that accuracy. So accuracy Y train predicts, and similarly we will find that confusion matrix. For testing data, what is your y test, which is your actual, your prediction, rf dot predict x test. So this is will help you to get a prediction for your testing data. Similarly, we are finding that confusion the metrics, confusion metrics. So let's try to create this. Okay, if you notice that for that training data accuracy, it comes out to be pretty like 100%, uh, but that's not an ideal case. Important is basically training data confusion matrix. If you notice, basically it's like uh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 14 by 14 the matrix, all on the diagonal one. Basically, that's your true the values are there. On your testing data, if you see, the accuracy comes out to be 0.83 7 percent. So important part is here your model is not aligned with your training data, means your testing score is not aligned with this data. So basically you have to work it out basically, since this is the model is not best fit model, best fit model. So basically here your accuracy data for your training data remains the constant, but your testing score gradually comes down. But let's see that confusion matrix are the part of it. So for confusion matrix, basically what are these numbers? These numbers are what we call as a false negative or a false positive. Those are the diagonals which it's able to predict correctly, but this is the value which it's not able to predict it which it's not able to predict it correctly. So that's how we got it from 14 by 14. But even though this is the fairly good score, fairly good score, but we have to somehow basically we have to try a better out strategies in order to work out this model. But whole soul, we started with the data analysis. We started with a data analysis, then we have done the data cleaning activity, then we have done a few bit on ed activity, a few bit on exploratory data analysis. Majorly we focused on basically how to create a majorly we focus on basically how to create a fantasy league fantasy league. And lastly we have created a small model where we have predicted that winners part of it. So that's what that's what I wanted to cover. Anyone has any questions on this? So this project is available under your coding nest, on your GitHub coding nest IPL 2018-19. Those who are joining from Meetup, this video will be uploading it by evening. So please subscribe on this channel. Please subscribe on this channel. Let me share you the detail. So you will going to get a notification. So basically for yesterday's as well as for today's.